In addition to that, we also offer courses on demand, so you can take it at your own time,
nice.
based on your own convenience, through a partnership with Coursera. And we also offer instructor-led in-person training around the globe. So
Oh.
we have a network of partners all around the world, and people can take in-person training. So whatever be the mechanism, I guess, for train that works for people, we have training, and they can go ahead and try those out.
It's almost like she really cares about learning and enablement. This sounds awesome. Like every type of form is available.
That's right.
So one of the things that employers and individuals really struggle with is how to differentiate themselves and their cloud skills. So do we actually have a way that Google uses to validate any skills that they gain?
Yeah, we do. So I think this is a perfect segue into Google Cloud certification program,
yeah.
right? We have multiple certifications, and again, depending on the skill set that people acquire, they can prove their expertise with a Google certification. And we have two professional level certifications: Google Cloud Professional Cloud Architect, as well as Data Engineer. And this is basically to say that you not only know how, like, a cloud architect is basically one that has demonstrated the skills to actually move applications onto the cloud and then configure the applications there, run them there, right?
Yes.
Whereas a data engineer is all about, you understand how to build the pipelines, how to derive insights from that data, and also leverage machine learning.
That is true. I like that specialization that we offer.
That's right, yes.
We actually have a bunch of people listening live right now. Hey, y'all. And what are we offering our attendees that they can jump into today?
Two things. As I said before, we do offer labs, so that's a great way to start. And today we have a series of labs called the GCP Essentials Quest. Everything about the basics of GCP, how do you get started, how do you implement things, but also advanced topics like Stackdriver and Kubernetes. And we're offering every attendee that is attending this conference today a free access to that GCP Essentials Quest. And we don't stop there. We are also providing access to the Coursera course that I mentioned earlier on getting started with the Google Cloud Container Engine.
Nice.
So all of that is available to all the attendees that do it today. And if you just watch out for the email that you'll get after this for all the conference attendees, they'll get codes for how they can access that. Learning doesn't stop, so I would definitely recommend that they try these out, but then pick on to learn all the essential skills leading to certifications.
How exciting. I think that's great, and I hope y'all like some of these trainings when you get a chance to play with them, kind of because that's my job and I'm biased. So one thing I want to make sure we do address, though, is with all of this talk about cloud skills, there does seem to be an implied message that employers need to start replacing their talent. And I want to know how we can help assuage this fear and battle this incorrect, inaccurate information.
Yeah, I feel like if we were replacing everyone, my job would be a lot less interesting. We're certainly about upskilling, right?
Yeah.
I think that some of the fundamentals, I think, of computer science haven't changed, right? In cloud computing, you're just doing newer things, right? You're doing them slightly differently, but things fundamentally haven't changed, right? So what I'd like for everyone to think about is, how do we acquire the new skills? Like, what's that gap? And what is that new skill set that I really require, right? To become a cloud architect or to become a data engineer. And really think about the difference that we can. The benefit of acquiring these cloud skills is that I feel like you're able to have a deeper impact to the business overall versus doing a lot of the heavy lifting for work that seems monotonous, right? So I think that with cloud, you're able to have a deeper impact on the business, and it's just about knowing that skills gap that you have. And so employers certainly do not need to replace anything. I think there'll be more jobs in the world of cloud, but that would lead to being closer to the business.
So would you say it's about learning all the skills you need to enable you to be the best possible developer?
That sounds fantastic, Joanna. Yes, learn the skills to enable your business better.
Well, thank you so much for sitting with me. I think I'm actually missing something, so I should probably get back.
Don't forget your banana.
Oh,
Joanna.
yeah, for Rito. Yes. All right, have a great day.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Joanna.
I'm here with Kristen Copeland, Associate Lead Recruiter. Thanks for joining us, Kristen.
Thanks for having me. I'm super happy to be here.
Oh, fantastic. Now, what type of roles are you hiring for in cloud?
Oh gosh, we have a lot of exciting stuff going on. Given that we're helping millions of organizations empower their employees, serve their customers, and build what's next for their businesses, we're hiring across a number of different roles and teams. Across all of these roles, it's important to bear in mind that there's no one kind of Googler. We look to build for everyone, create for everyone, design for everyone. So we're always looking for people who can bring new perspectives, life experiences to our teams. So if you're looking for an opportunity to make a profound impact in the world around you, work in a place that values your curiosity, passion, and desire to learn, if you're seeking colleagues who are big thinkers and eager to take on fresh challenges as a team, then you're a future Googler.
Outstanding.
So as I mentioned, we're hiring across a large number of different roles across major functions. So you can see a full list at careers.google.com/cloud. But to call out a few examples, we have roles within our Google Cloud customer team, such as sales engineers and inside sales roles. Our marketing team is also hiring folks, and we're looking for folks in field marketing, product marketing, and more. And of course, our engineering and technical teams are hiring in a huge array of different roles. So that includes software engineering, site reliability engineering, security engineers. We don't just hire engineers, so we've got solutions architects, product managers, technical program managers. Honestly, that list just goes on and on. So I'd really encourage everyone to check out our site at careers.google.com/cloud and really see what's available globally. So that's just a few examples.
That's a lot of examples.
And we're always excited to see what each person can potentially bring to the team and what they can gain. We would encourage folks who might be interested to go online and see what might be the best fit for them.
Yeah, that's awesome. So there's a lot of roles, a lot of opportunities, which sounds amazing. Is 2018 going to be a big hiring year?
Yes, 2018 will continue to be a big year for Google Cloud. We're scaling to meet the needs of our expanding global customer base. And with that, we're growing our infrastructure to continue providing customers the best reliability and availability in the market. We're also continuing to scale our customer team, and we're bringing on more senior, experienced enterprise leaders, hiring customer engineers, architects, developing channels programs, expanding our services and training functions, as well as building out our relationships with system integrators.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So if I'm someone out there interested in one of these amazing opportunities, one of these great roles, how do I go about applying?
So glad you asked. All of our roles can be found at careers.google.com/cloud. So folks should go online, check out all the different exciting openings, get more information, and potentially apply if you're interested.
Oh, that's fantastic. So now the process, once you've put in your resume and you've applied for the role, what happens then? What's kind of the next step in the process?
Yeah, great question. So there are no shortcuts when it comes to finding and assessing the right talent. So we look for the best talent everywhere and then use structure and criteria to assess candidates within the hiring process. So I may outline it by saying that there's 3 steps in our process. We can say that there's an application, the interview, and then we decide. So after someone applies online, applications are read by real humans who are both experts in interpreting resumes and who are really familiar with our jobs. If one of our recruiters finds a potential match, they'll schedule a call to learn more about your skills and your experience. From there, we'll move into the interview portion. So you'll typically see that we offer 2 different types of interviews in our hiring process, phone or hangout interview, and then an on-site interview within a local Google site. Between each round of interviews, we'll gather feedback from your interviewers, and then we'll determine the next steps. So after your interviews have wrapped up, an independent hiring committee made up of Googlers at various levels of the company will review your candidate packet, which will include your interview feedback, your resume, your references, and any work samples that you've shared with us. And then hiring committees will make sure that we're holding true to our hiring standards as we continue to grow and scale. If a committee recommends hire, the panel's committee feedback will be added to the candidate packet and then sent to a senior leader. That senior leader will then provide another layer of objectivity for review.
That's fantastic. You know, it's important to learn that there's so many people who sort of understand each segment of the job and the process who are able to, contribute and make sure that the right people get through. Do you have any recommendations for how people can best prepare their resume in preparation for these interview processes?
Definitely. I like to think of your resume as the first piece of information we'll see about you. So it's really important to make sure it represents your body of work. So take the opportunity to really highlight your achievements. So align your skills with the experience of the job description. So let's say you see a role online that interests you and it requires open source experience. Highlight some of that in your resume. And be specific about projects that you've managed or worked on. Think about what was the outcome? How did you measure your success? If you held a leadership role, tell us a little bit more about it. How big was the team? What was your scope of work? Finally, keep it short. If there's any additional information we need during the hiring process, like a portfolio, your recruiter will work with you to collect it.
So what about for the interviews themselves?
Yeah, so for the interviews themselves, we do work sample tests and structured interview questions. So there's a few tips I can share. It's really important to explain your thought process, think about data, provide clarity, improve, and practice. So let me dive in a little bit more on that. Before you start answering a question in the interview, plan your answer. Once you actually start to answer, explain it thoroughly. We want to understand how you think, so explain your thought process and decision making throughout the interview. Remember, we're not only evaluating your technical ability, but also how you approach problems and try to solve them. Be data-driven. Every question should be answered with a story that really demonstrates how you can do what you're being asked to do. How do you lead should be answered with, I'm a collaborative or a decisive leader. Let me tell you about a time that I did X. Then we think about how you may want to clarify things. Many of the questions will be deliberately open-ended to provide insight into what categories and information you value within the technological puzzle. So we're looking to see how you engage with the problem and how your primary method for solving it is. Be sure to talk through your thought process and feel free to ask specific questions if you need some additional clarification. Then we want you to improve on it. Think about ways to improve your solution. It's worthwhile to think out loud in your initial thoughts to a question. In many cases, your first answer may need some refining and further explanation. If necessary, start with a brute force solution and improve on it. Just let the interviewer know what you're doing and why you're doing it. Finally, practice. Everyone gets better with practice.
Yes.
Practice your interview answers, practice it out loud, practice it until you can really tell each story clearly and concisely. We hope these steps will help make you prepared for success in your interview journey.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a lot of good detail, and I think it's really important what you talked about. Always letting the interviewer know what you're doing, why you're doing it. I think from the interviews that I've done, having people do that sort of brute force, like the simple way of doing it first, and then that gets the wheels churning. You're able to think a little bit more about the best possible solution for this problem, and then sort of ease into it that way.
Absolutely, and I think one of the common misconceptions about our interview process is, there's a lot of folks who think that we might be doing these brain teaser, crazy puzzles, and really we want you to just think clearly and help us to understand your thought process and the way you might tackle things in an interview.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what it's really all about, is we're trying to find people who can come and join us here and do amazing things. It's not about trying to trick you during the process, but find out how you think and how you solve problems.
Absolutely, and we'd love to have you do it here with us.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for sharing your time with us, Kristen.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Great. Now, I wonder where Joanna is.
I'm right here.
Oh,
I got your banana.
fantastic. Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
I should,
Okay.
Yeah.
Great news though, while Rita runs off to eat a snack, I managed to see Diane Bryant, our CEO for Google Cloud, and Dave Forrester, the VP and Principal Analyst for Forrester, getting mic'd up for the keynote, and they agreed to come talk to me. So they're gonna step on stage right now.
Hey, how are you
Hello, thank you so much. I really appreciate this
Good to see
quick
you.
pause as we
you?
set up and change
Doing
names.
well?
I must admit, I'm a little in awe right now. There's great leaders here. Diane, you are a tech industry leader. This is undeniable, and such a great role model. And as the CEO here at Google, you're the one helping Google Cloud drive its scale and its growth and really reach all those zones. And of course, you have an impressive resume from 30 years of experience working at Intel. And that all together has earned you a spot on Fortune's top 50 most powerful women. I'm a little in awe, I have to admit.
So silly.
And Dave, with all of yours, the same, like level of executive experience and guiding large companies. My question today is, what is the best advice you can think of to get things done at these large and complex organizations such as Google and Intel and Forrester?
Yeah, it is a good question, because the pace of business is fast and it's accelerating, and so you have to have an organization that is willing to grab that opportunity and run with it, and that means change. They've got to be willing to make change, and change is hard for anyone.
Absolutely.
It's hard for anyone, and so what I found is you need three things if you're gonna motivate an organization to change and to move, and that's first, you got to have a compelling reason for the change. There's either got to be a great opportunity they're going after, or avoiding a big threat would be another one. You've got to have a really compelling plan for that change. The organization has to see that plan is real, it's achievable, they have to believe in it. And then the third thing you have to have is you got to get that tipping point mass of the population over. So if you get the 20% of the folks to actually embrace it and start moving, the rest will follow. And all of that takes lots and lots and lots of leadership communication. You got to say it over and over and over. But I'll say, after you communicate until you can't say it another time, what the organization really needs to see is they need to see change. They need to be able to look at the management and see that things are moving. There's got to be action. And so I say change management starts with management changing, because action speaks louder than words, clearly, right? You got to move. You got to move.
The large enterprises I talk to always ask us why we don't have more dreamers, why we can't change as quickly as the disruptive companies, right, that are chasing our business. And we always ask, are you rewarding dreamers? Are you rewarding people that take risks? And I think it has to come from the top down. If you want dreamers, you have to reward dreams.
That's a really good point. Yeah, thanks. Hey, I think we got to get going.
Yeah, your final checks. I know you're up first, Dave.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Need to rush and get
Diane
ready.
has to get ready for the keynote. Like, this is exciting. But Dave, you've got a few more minutes.
Sure, of
good,
course.
thank you.
No problem.
I heard this amazing story, and I wanted to get a little more detail from you while you're waiting.
Sure.
Your first experience with AI. Can you? I don't want to do any
30 years
spoilers,
ago?
but will
Yes.
you share that story?
Thanks for bringing that up, but it was that long ago.
I didn't. You did.
Yeah, I wrote my first artificial intelligence product, I guess, at the end of my undergrad years, and it was written in Prolog, and we were helping cardiac physicians recommend the right cardiac follow-up drugs. But this was written in Prolog, and we had the ideas. We still didn't know what to call it. We were still arguing artificial intelligence or machine learning or expert systems or rule-based programming or even early natural language processing. We were trying to do all of that, but then we realized in order to put it in a hospital, we'd have to buy every doctor a $30,000 computer. So what we had the ideas then for AI. We didn't have the access to the incredible amount of on-demand, cost-effective compute.
Yes.
And that's really the difference today. So we can now turn these ideas into real insights and help people make decisions faster, because we don't have to worry about where we're doing it.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I know I'm at the other end of my career right now, but it's like, my job is here helping people learn, and your job was saving lives and, not letting hearts fail.
The doctor's job was saving lives. I was just trying to
help and
them
empower.
Make the right decisions.
And that is definitely a theme today, like learning and enablement and empowerment, so
Right.
that everyone else can gather the skills to turn their ideas into practicalities.
Exactly. That's what the cloud's all about.
So you're from Forrester.
I am.
You're not one of our Googlers, roped into this as our job. But I know you're going to talk about your full story in the keynote, but do you have like a
Sure.
sneak preview or like a little hint you can drop while everyone's waiting?
Sure. 2018 is cloud go time, right? What we're finding in our research is that it's not just for the first movers anymore, right? Cloud isn't just for the disruptive companies. Large enterprises, from brands, worldwide brands you would recognize everywhere, are transforming their business with cloud platforms. You can do it, not just the new mobile app, not just some new shopping website. The entire corporate business processes can be modernized, accelerated, and reconnected with cloud. So I think what we're seeing is much faster adoption than we even predicted 2 years ago.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you so much.
Sure.
I'll let you go to your final checks,
Okay.
and you'll be back on this stage when I get off. But thank you
Okay.
again. It was really nice
Thank
to meet
you. Pleasure.
Have a great day. So Diane and Dave, they're legitimately getting ready to speak right now, which makes this a perfect opportunity to submit your questions to our live Q&A team. We have people standing by who want to answer them. And thank you for going behind the scenes with us as this event gets rolling. I hope you really enjoyed this keynote that's coming up. Rado and I, we work really hard to make sure all the information you need was available during this pre-show, but we will be back because you're gonna see us as we try to grab speakers in the hallway, get a couple little more stories out of them, and change between sessions. And of course, you'll see us at the end of the day when we say goodbye. So sad, but ready to see you every 40 minutes. I know you're really, really excited. And I keep saying we, but have y'all seen Rado? Anyone? Anyone seen Rado at all? I thought he was gonna give me something else to talk about while we let Diane and Dave get ready. And well, okay, so summary of the pre-show while somebody looks for Rado. Thanks, appreciate it. You're going for Rado. Basically, anyone who just joined in is ready for the keynote. We covered all of the, there's Rado.
I'm sorry,
Hi.
I was finishing my snack. I thought I had more time.
For your banana.
Exactly.
So, like I said, anyone who's just joining in, didn't get to catch our whole pre-show, we're just gonna give you a quick recap. We started with an overview of the platform, and that means that on your left, you should see buttons.
Yes.
Best way to see what a button does is to click it.
It usually works pretty well, and it absolutely works well on this platform as well. So
Click buttons.
Absolutely, and we've got buttons to provide feedback. We're going to ask you to do this a lot during the
Please.
day. We value the feedback so much; it helps us to make this whole process the best that it can be. We also would love to hear your questions. We're going to pick a few questions to answer later today, live on air. But
Super successful. We're great at that.
Absolutely, and we've got people waiting at all times to answer those questions as well. We've got experts from around Google, specifically dedicated, waiting at their laptops. I think that's them over there.
They're ready to go.
They're ready to
See
go.
you.
So as soon as we open that up and turn that on, we're going to really appreciate getting those questions and helping you on your journey as well.
And then I bumped into Rachana in our MK, and she talked about our training offerings and all the ways you can learn. And well, I guess we'll go over that again for everyone who missed it this morning, so you don't feel like you have to miss anything. But the point is, we want to teach you, we want to help you. That is literally our job. And if you ever have any questions or difficulties with learning, if you kind of complain to us on Twitter, that's also our job. So we'll take that.
Absolutely. It was great that you had that opportunity to grab Diane and before the keynote.
I know.
Right?
It's really exciting.
I'm a little jealous.
I don't normally get meetings with anyone that's intelligent.
No, it's. I feel like maybe you arranged that because.
Have you
co-hosts
seen my
and-
amazing ability for peer pressure? Can you look at this space and not want to answer my questions?
Well, this is true. Yeah.
But yeah, and then finally you went over recruitment opportunities and how the whole process works with Kristen, right?
Exactly. Yeah. No, she told me all about what the process is like, how folks who are watching us today can get involved, can apply for a great job at Google, all of the different opportunities and how you go about applying.
So that was our pre-show. Hopefully everyone who watched it enjoyed it, and now it's time for the keynote.
So hello, and thank you so much for joining our event. We are thrilled to have tens of thousands of you online viewing this real time. So I'm Diane Bryant. I'm the COO of Google Cloud. Along with a couple of my guests, I will kick off this Cloud on Air event, which is focused on IT modernization in a cloud-first world. Following me will be 3 technical tracks. There'll be migration of apps and data, the new world of containers and open source solutions with Kubernetes, and then some detailed technical training in how to use Google Cloud. It is a very dynamic and disruptive time for the business world. Technology is transforming the world around us. It is changing all industries. We have entire markets that are being disrupted. For instance, changes to the taxi market thanks to cloud computing, artificial intelligence, and the sharing economy. You see product disruption with the move from physical products to cloud services. A clear example of that is the automotive industry as it augments its revenue with connected car services and autonomous driving. And then there's supply chain disruption, clearly seen in the retail industry. And we're going to see further disruption of the supply chain in the industrial market with 3D printing. Technology has moved from penetrating all industries to permeating them. And this means that the IT department moves from being a cost center to a P&L. It goes from being an enabler of the business to actually being the business. And as an old CIO, this is extremely exciting. So why cloud computing as the destination? The cloud significantly extends the reach of the digital world, making technology massively accessible. It was actually back in August of 2006 that Eric Schmidt, Google's CEO, introduced cloud computing at an industry conference. And today, there may be hundreds of clouds, but none can compare to the sophistication of Google Cloud. And I believe we'll look back at cloud computing and compare it to the impact that the PCs had back in the 90s in extending the reach of technology. There's a clear reason: it's efficiency. A cloud is defined as infrastructure that is shared and automated. In doing so, it delivers higher performance at lower cost, it enables rapid deployment of new services, and delivers better data center operations. And you can see this value in the recent Forrester survey, the top 5 reasons cited for moving to the cloud. The on-demand, efficient, self-serve attributes of the cloud is what makes it such a powerful disruptor. The cloud delivers value to IT in lowering CapEx and OpEx through higher utilization. It delivers value to the app developer because you have faster time to deployment. That in turn delivers value to the line of business in those new services, driving growth, leveraging the many, many, many connected things and the massive data sets that are available. And in the end, all of that delivers value to the customer. The modernization of your IT footprint and the move to the cloud creates the opportunity to just rethink all of that legacy IT. At Google, our Google IT group is now about halfway through the process of moving all of our third-party apps from traditional infrastructure into Google Cloud. As you can imagine, all of our custom apps are cloud native. They were developed on Google Cloud. And so although it's possible to simply lift and shift those apps from traditional infrastructure into the cloud, this accounts for only 22% of the apps that migrate to the cloud, and that's shown in blue on the chart from Forrester. For us in Google IT, the number is actually quite similar. It's 17%. That means the majority of the applications will leverage the opportunity and actually upgrade from the current state. For instance, take advantage of the advanced security and reliability of the cloud. Increase the automation, such as the rebuild process. It's also the opportunity to simply clean up the production app portfolio. You can consolidate several similar apps, end-of-lifing apps that have low usage, or moving to an available SaaS solution to allow you to focus your IT development on applications that are going to deliver differentiation for your company. In the Google IT journey to the cloud, we were able to reduce the total third-party apps hosted by over 30%. That is a huge savings in and of itself. Through the IT modernization process and the rationalization of all of those legacy apps, selection of your cloud service provider is a critical decision that you will make. In our own survey of IT execs, the top 5 attributes in that decision process are reliability, data security, management, support, and cost. Being the company that runs search, serving over 320 billion web requests per day, reliability is a core competency. We have tracked the reliability of Google Cloud versus the other commercial cloud offerings, and we lead by a meaningful amount. The Gartner report noted here provides a very clear view of that leadership. Location is also a key decision point, whether it be for performance issues, for regulatory issues, or just for customer proximity. Google Cloud has the advantage of being able to leverage the massive network build-out that Google created in search of other properties like YouTube and search. Over 25% of the world's internet traffic is served by the Google network. The Google Cloud infrastructure, its footprint is expanding at an amazing rate. We opened new regions at a pace of 1 per month throughout 2017, currently at 15 with 4 more to be announced. Each of those regions has several zones that are independent resources and independent failure domains, which contributes to that reliability. Achieving the reach and scale of Google Cloud takes an extraordinary long-term investment. And over the past 3 years, we have spent over $30 billion in capital. This investment is important. Cloud computing delivers efficiency through the sharing of resources. Hence, by definition, the efficiency increases with scale. And this is why we have industry leadership in price performance today, and why we are confident that you will continue to get the best results for Google Cloud well out into the future. Now, committing your corporation to running in the cloud is a significant decision, and you should never have to worry about business continuity. That sounds obvious, but not all cloud providers deliver to that cloud promise of always available on demand. This is an excerpt from a competitor's terms of service stating that they have the contractual right to reboot your applications as needed to maintain, upgrade, and patch their infrastructure. By contrast, Google Cloud was architected to deliver zero planned downtime. That's a core attribute. And the value of this attribute became clear with the recent security threat, codenamed Spectre and Meltdown. It was actually the Google security team that discovered the security vulnerabilities that exist in all modern microprocessors, meaning all PCs and servers worldwide were vulnerable to a security breach and data theft. Not only did Google discover the bug and identify the fix that would not degrade performance, but Google Cloud rolled that fix out across all Google assets without a hitch. There was no customer downtime, completely invisible to the Google Cloud customers. In contrast, competition were unable to fix without customer downtime. So Google is a recognized leader in the area of security. You don't have to look far to understand the magnitude of the security threat. Every business, every government, every consumer is at risk, and maintaining that secure IT environment is very complex. So Google Cloud, as a born-in-the-cloud company, we have architected for security. Security is built into every layer of the stack as a design priority. So from the custom silicon development, where we have security at the very lowest level of hardware operation, to IP integrated into each level of our software stack. After years of debate on whether public or private clouds are going to win, the world is now united that it is a multi-cloud world. And that means we need to address the issue of transparency across all those clouds, because the CIO simply can't afford the OpEx overhead of dealing with multiple proprietary siloed clouds, or worse, being locked into a given vendor. Google is uniquely positioned to address this issue. We have a culture of open. We invent and we contribute to the open source community. We pull open source, add capability, and contribute it back. A critical example of that is Kubernetes, the orchestration solution for Google Cloud, which we contributed to open source. If you're going to deliver multi-cloud as an insight, it clearly takes technical partners. We broadly partner to make your IT modernization low effort and high reward. So listening to me espouse the virtues of Google Cloud is one thing, but it's clearly more exciting to hear it from a leading industry analyst like Forrester Research. So with me is Vice President and Principal Analyst, Dave Bartoletti. Dave, come on out. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate it. Good to see you.
Thank you so much for having me.
You bet.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Diane, for inviting me, and thanks to everyone for joining us today. As the lead analyst on Forrester's Cloud Computing Playbook team, I have the pleasure of talking with hundreds of companies every year. Each one is trying to use cloud to modernize everything they have, from the way they build apps to the way they structure their businesses. What we keep finding over and over again is today's fastest digital businesses are forming cloud-based ecosystems to connect everyone, their customers, their employees, their suppliers, to the apps, the data, and devices that drive modern business. The amazing breadth of cloud services, like AI and machine learning, the global reach and scale of today's global public cloud platforms, and the rich development tools and APIs that are being born in the cloud make all this digital transformation possible. See, most business today is very linear. From product design to product development to customer service, we push data one way through a series of applications and business processes. The customer is always at the end. The rise of the public cloud, of mobile platforms, mobile devices, machine learning, and especially APIs, helps businesses reconnect all of these systems together. Put your customer at the center. When you do this, it enables your business to become more modular. You can modernize different parts of your business at different speeds. You expand the boundaries of your business, and you can include the customer earlier in every product decision. Basically, what you're doing is you're using cloud to apply the principles of DevOps to your entire business. That means early customer input, constant customer feedback, and short, focused product release cycles. That's why CIOs tell us today that their #1 strategy for modernizing their apps is to migrate them to cloud platforms. And 2017 marked the first time cloud modernization was on top of the CIO's agenda. It really is the most proven and exciting way to modernize existing applications. And that's really because cloud is no longer a place to get cheap servers or cheap storage. It's not even one place anymore. It's a new way to design amazing software and extract insights from data faster. Cloud is about how you build and run your apps, not just where. So this tremendous shift to cloud is now underway across industries. It's underway around the world, and I can't encourage you enough to get started. Consider 2018 Cloud Go Time. Start by running a strategic portfolio analysis today. Which apps do you need to modernize now, and which can wait? Figure out where all of your most important data lives. The major cloud providers can help you do this. I recommend you prioritize your systems of engagement, those apps that directly touch customers and impact customer experience. But don't forget to identify your most critical data as well. There's gold buried in your enterprise data just waiting to be mined with new machine learning and AI tools. So once you've done your analysis, for each app, you can modernize it in different ways. You can lift and shift it as is. You can completely rewrite it. You can replace it, say with a SaaS application. Or you can extend it. You can incrementally make it better by adding cloud services. Lift and shift has the lowest risk, but it also offers the least benefits. A complete rewrite, on the other hand, can be expensive and very risky. And replacing an application completely usually means designing new business processes to fit the new app. Extending your applications has quickly become the most popular option. It lets you build new cloud capabilities while you're migrating all or even just part of an app to the cloud without replacing and rewriting it from scratch. Extending apps is our recommended strategy now because it lowers risk and it gives the customers we talk to the fastest time to business value. But always remember, your portfolio is unique to your business, and you'll probably take different paths for different applications, but that's okay. Cloud is mature enough now that you don't have to limit yourself to one strategy. And really, in my opinion, you shouldn't. The second thing to do this year is choose a cloud development platform. We've seen skyrocketing interest and adoption of container-based development platforms. And that's because containers have already been proven to remove friction in the development and test cycle. They will help you build, test, and release software faster. And they require less infrastructure in production. But what they also do is help insulate your developers from having to worry about deployment details. You want to keep your developers focused on designing business logic, not figuring out how to orchestrate hundreds or thousands of containers. But most developers still want some degree of infrastructure control. Today's cloud-native development platforms, powered by Kubernetes, abstract deployment details away from developers, but they don't force developers into a single way to build apps, or limit them to one architecture, or even completely shield them from infrastructure. 71% of the enterprise development and infrastructure teams we spoke to prefer to use cloud-native infrastructure directly, or use a fully managed container as a service platform, where they don't have to pre-configure servers. They also want orchestration built in, and by a huge margin, the orchestration they want is Kubernetes. And let's drill into that. Kubernetes is a great example of just how important open source is when you're modernizing apps in the cloud. 80% of all the developers and IT teams we surveyed prefer to use open source somewhere in their software development lifecycle. Why? Well, first, because all of the most innovative new cloud tools and services, from container management to machine learning to functions, are powered by open source. Second, because open source lets you move fast. It's easy to try. And third, it's because open source encourages portability. It helps future-proof any tools decision you make today and lowers your downstream lock-in risk. Remember, your goal is to get to cloud, not to get to a single cloud, because it's highly unlikely today that any one cloud platform or any one cloud location will meet all of your needs. When we asked developers and IT teams what would help them improve their apps fastest, the top 3 answers were continuous integration and delivery tool chains, that's automation, functions as a service, and open source. And today you can access all this open source goodness in the public cloud and in your own data center. So then we looked at containers and functions in more detail. And what's really clear is that both are now business critical. We talked to companies who don't use either, who use one or the other, and who use both. And across the board, we found that the combination of containers and functions is driving some incredible results. 60% of the companies who are using both in the cloud say that that combination lets them build software faster with fewer errors. Only 30% said platforms without containers and functions did that. Companies using both also do a much better job overall of innovating, doing something new and different, and changing direction when something doesn't work. So combined, they make modernization easier. They make it faster, and they make it more flexible. It's really remarkable how quickly containers and functions have opened up new opportunities for all types of companies across all industries, not just Silicon Valley startups within 20 miles of here, but some of the largest and most recognizable brands in the world. In fact, 98% of the companies we talked to see value in using containers or functions, and it doesn't get any more universal than that. So make 2018 the year you put cloud to work modernizing your apps, and remember, don't wait for someone else to figure out how to transform your business with cloud. Diane?
Wow, hey Dave, that was super exciting. Thank you. Really nicely done. And I am impressed how quickly the adoption of new technology is taking hold.
It's head spinning.
It's moving. Yeah, thank you.
Moving faster than I ever thought. Thanks.
Thank you so much. We'll see you in a minute. So the last area that I want to hit on is customer support. We know for our technology innovation, we are known as a technology innovator, but what we are equally invested in is creating new ways to engage with our customers and make the use of cloud computing easy. So we have invented and deployed role-based support. This puts the cost of support under your control. You are free to customize the support to meet your needs. You can change that support as your needs change. We also know that keeping the business running is the #1 priority for any IT organization. And so we provide a business-critical SLA. It's a 15-minute response with dedicated technical account manager and engineer-to-engineer engagement. We also have a global community of integration partners ready to help you with your modernization effort. And finally, we have a team of highly skilled solutions architects and developers that can jumpstart your program with a 1-week sprint. One enterprise that has unleashed the power of Google Cloud is Lush. And now Lush is an international retailer of fresh handmade cosmetics. As a worldwide company, Lush has seen tremendous growth. And in 2016, they realized their business had simply outpaced the innovation of their prior cloud provider. So I'm really pleased to have with me today the person responsible for Lush's creative technology and design, coming all the way from England, Adam Goswell. Hey, Adam, you want to come on up?
Hello, Diane.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very well.
Good to see you.
You too.
Thank you. So you moved your entire e-commerce solution. You moved it onto Google Cloud. You
Yep.
completed it in less than 6 weeks.
That's right.
And you did it right before the busiest selling season of the year.
That's right.
You've got to explain why you did this.
It's pretty crazy. So going into the 2016 holiday season, we had the choice of renewing our existing cloud provider contract or looking for a new one. Right. So given the fact it was a peak trading period, it was a really, really high decision for us in 2016.
I can imagine.
It was. So we could either stay with our provider or we could make the move. We weren't happy with the service we were getting, the control, and importantly to the Lush, the ethics of the provider didn't align with ours at all, and that made us really uncomfortable. So all this in mind, we decided to make the move over November, December in 2016, which was just 22 days in total. So for Lush, the long-term flexibility, the benefits of the wider Google Cloud ecosystem was amazing. And something else that got us really excited in Lush is your commitment to being powered 100% by renewable energy.
Thank you.
Which
Yeah,
we
that's
think is
very
amazing.
important to
Yeah.
us. Yes, it is all green, and I appreciate you saying that. This is obviously a big, challenging migration. The size is impressive. So can you tell us more about what you actually migrated, what actually happened?
Sure. So the main challenge for us was literally the vast amount of data and systems we had to migrate. So over the course of the 5 days, we lifted and shifted 17 websites worth of content, customer and order data. Wow. The databases range from 100 meg up to hundreds of gigabytes. Really the saving grace was Google Cloud's amazing process of doing that. We could dump our data into Google Storage and then migrate that straight into Cloud SQL, which was really incredible. So all the benefits of your incredible network really made that a lot less painful for us.
Yeah, lovely. It's a great story. So the whole migration then also obviously supported your teams.
Yeah, we had to change our teams. We had to focus them just on this migration. So they were isolated from the company. We had a very focused room for them just to work in. Okay. No one disturbed them. They got on with the job and they did it in that incredible 22 days, which is just miraculous, right?
It's a miraculous period. So I have heard from the Google team that they helped you along with this journey. At least that's what they want me to think.
Yes,
so you can tell me, is that true?
So working with Google means taking advantage of all your entire incredible ecosystem, not just the Google staff, but the educational opportunities you provide, which is absolutely amazing, your partners and your knowledge of this space. So we had fantastic support from your engineers, the product teams. They could work with our engineering team directly to architect the solution, and some fantastic support from our partner, Google partner Clarinet, who assisted with some of the technical aspects of the migration. We also really benefited from attending Google events like Google Cloud Next, which really gave our team really great training and inspiration. And there's nothing quite as powerful as meeting other customers who've done the same thing and learning directly from them. And Next offers those experiences to everyone that attends.
It's a very thoughtful approach. That's impressive.
Yes.
Very impressive. So now that you've completed this migration with obviously stunning results, if you look back and had to do it all over again, is there something that you would change that you could tell us about?
Yeah, I think we found out the hard way that our old provider was a black box closed solution. So we had to make some educated guesses on how it was structured. And we don't believe, as you don't, in closed solutions. We advocate open source technology wherever possible. And we'd really like to see more companies working that way.
Yeah, thank you. We do embrace open, as you know. I appreciate that. So this all happened a year ago. So maybe you can tell us, like, now that you've been a year on Google Cloud, what else are you guys up to? What are you doing?
So right now, the teams in the UK are actually moving over our data warehouse. They're migrating the whole thing over to Google Cloud. So we've also opened up an amazing stream with R&D and innovation. Okay. That's what your platform offers. And that's been really amazing to see our team using the platform, experimenting and playing with stuff.
That's great. Lots of fun.
Absolutely.
Very, very fun. And so I do want to say I appreciate everything you're doing, the fact that you're taking full advantage of our innovation and Google Cloud. Congratulations on the tremendous success you've had. It's amazing. And I just appreciate you coming all the way from England to be here. That's very kind of you.
Thank you for having us.
So that actually concludes my track. I want to thank all of you for your time. I hope you enjoy the rest of the show. Thank you.
Welcome back. We hope you enjoyed that keynote as much as we did. And we're just about ready to move on to the breakout sessions. Now remember, we've got 3 different tracks available: Migrate, Modernize, and Get Trained.
But while our production crew mics up each speaker, I'd like to highlight our UX study opportunities. At Google, we're always trying to build products that are helpful for our users, and that means we need to understand what users actually need.
Absolutely.
To that end, we conduct user experience research at multiple stages of our product's development so that we can incorporate actionable, in-context feedback into the development of our products.
That's fantastic. Yeah, the Google Cloud Platform User Experience team wants to pay you for your feedback on GCP products to help make them even better. The studies are typically 1 hour over video conference, and the insights from the studies directly impact the design of new features in our products. So, if you use GCP products, sign up to participate in paid UX studies with our research team.
And I know how developers are eager to share their thoughts. I mean, that is our job.
Absolutely.
And this is a perfect way to do just that. We'll be emailing the sign-up form out after this event for anyone who is interested. But basically, getting your opinions and your experience directly into the research document that goes to the teams is your best bet at like having your voice heard in a way that's actionable.
Absolutely. I mean, this is how we make sure that the products that we're building actually fulfill the desires of the developers out there.
Have you ever done a UX study here at Google?
I have, yeah. It was a lot of fun. It's like one of the advantages for the one I did was that I got to play with stuff sort of before anyone else got to externally. But you know, I think either way, it just sort of gives you that ability to have direct feedback, direct input to the team, and tell them exactly what you think. Which, I mean, to be fair, is something we do a lot of, whether we're asked or not. So.
Yeah, I remember the first one I ever did. I was an intern, and I got to use the eye tracker that we have for
nice.
screens. So it was for search, and they really were mapping. There were red lines mapping everywhere that I looked, and it was really cool. It was a fun process, and then I got like a little plush toy because they don't pay us, but they'll pay anyone not at Google for your opinion. This is pretty great. All right, so for our first session, starting off our 3 tracks, we've got on the migrate track, considerations when migrating to the cloud with Douglas Dollars. On the modernize track, managing across IT environments with open architectures with Aparna Sinha. And on the Get Trained track, a Google Cloud Platform 101 with Terry Ryan.
Oh, fantastic. I'm looking forward to all of those. And Terry's actually on our team, so maybe we'll be able to get
let's
a
try to
chance
get him, because he
try and
can't say
chat
no
with
to
him.
me.
Absolutely. Now, remember that you can ask us questions throughout today's event. We've got a team of people ready to answer them.
And we're like I said, we're really excited for these talks. We're really excited for this day and this event, and we hope that you're enjoying everything as much as we are. And if not, let's have the feedback. Push the button, fill out the form, because we'll use that feedback for the next time we plan an event.
Absolutely. Enjoy the sessions.